There was a man named Ananda. For many years, he lived with deep resentment toward life, poverty, loneliness, abandonment. He believed he was a victim of fate. Every morning he stepped outside with a dark face, and every night he fell asleep with the same question: why is life so unfair to me? He was once kind and gentle, but years of bitterness turned him into an irritable, harsh, and closed-hearted man. He trusted no one, not even the Buddha. If karma is real, he would say, why do bad people live in wealth while I suffer like this? One day, under heavy rain, Ananda came across an old monk sitting beneath a tree. Wearing a tattered yellow robe, his eyes half closed, his face calm beyond understanding. Despite the cold wind and the storm, he sat there like a candle that would not go out. Ananda snapped, "What's the point of meditating in the rain? Does praying fill your stomach?" The monk didn't open his eyes. He simply said softly, "I may not be full, but my heart has never been hungry. And you eat well, but how long has your heart been thirsty?" Those words made Ananda freeze. "My heart? Thirsty for what?" he asked. "I just need money, a home, a wife, a job." The monk opened his eyes and looked at him, as if seeing through him. "No, you only need one thing, to know what is enough and to let go. True happiness doesn't come from having more, but from releasing what causes you suffering." Ananda let out a dry laugh, but something inside him had already begun to shift. Before leaving, the monk said, "If you still remember me tomorrow, come back. I'll tell you the story of yourself in a different light." That night, Ananda couldn't sleep, not because of hunger, not because of the cold, but because, for the first time in his life, he began to ask himself, have I been living the wrong way? If you've ever seen yourself in Ananda, if you've ever hated life for what you lack, stay, because this journey may lead you to something the Buddha once taught about true happiness. There are things we do in a moment of anger that we regret for a lifetime. Ananda knew this pain. He once struck his father for giving their last portion of rice to a beggar. Just days later, his father passed away. For years, Ananda never spoke of it. No one knew, only he, and the burning guilt inside his chest. One day, he shared the story with the monk. He thought he would be scolded, but the monk just smiled gently. "You are not bad. You just never learned how to love. Regret is a fire. It can burn you forever, or, if you understand, it can light your path." Ananda cried, not because of the pain, but because, for the first time, he felt forgiven. For the first time in decades, Ananda gave away half a bowl of rice porridge. No one asked him to, no one praised him, but his heart felt warmer than ever. He gave it to a blind old woman at the edge of the village. Her hands trembled as she received it. She said, "I haven't eaten since morning. Bless you." Ananda didn't reply. He simply walked away as a silent tear fell. Later, when he told the monk, he asked, "Just one bowl of porridge. Does it even matter?" The monk replied, "A small act of compassion can change the karma of an entire lifetime." A stranger, not the monk he knew, once said to Ananda, "The lotus never complains about the mud. It simply rises." A true practitioner doesn't leave the world. They stay in it, but don't sink. Ananda never asked that man's name. He only knew that when he turned back, the stranger had vanished. Left behind was a white lotus and a handwritten note. Happiness doesn't come when we have enough. It comes when we realize what we have is already enough. One night, a young man knocked on Ananda's door begging for food. Ananda fed him and gave him a place to sleep. The next morning, the boy was gone. But on the floor, he left behind a small stone with carved words. The door is open. Karma has returned, but without resentment. Ananda trembled. Years ago, he had chased away a beggar who later died of starvation. Was this a chance to make it right? The monk said, "Not everyone gets to meet their past karma again. You are fortunate." Ananda helped at a neighbor's memorial ceremony. He brought no gifts, just his hands and a peaceful heart. At the end of the day, the host said, "You gave us the greatest gift, your presence, without expectation." The monk smiled. No one is poor if they can still give. A kind heart is invisible wealth. Ananda nearly died in a storm. He slipped down a hillside unconscious and dreamed a strange dream. You once said you wanted to die, but now, with death so near, are you ready? Ananda wept. I've never truly lived. Please, I want to start again. He woke and realized each day we're still alive is a gift. The monk said, death doesn't come to take. It comes to remind us to treasure life. Ananda met an old friend, someone who once betrayed him. For years, he held hatred in his heart. But now, instead of blaming him, Ananda reached out and offered a piece of cake. I used to hate you, but now I just want peace for you. The friend cried, if I hadn't seen you today, I might never have slept in peace again. The monk later said, forgiving others is unlocking your own chains